Yeah, like, did I not did I not tell you or ask you, not tell, ask you to put the top up on my car yesterday? Did I not ask you to do that? I did. Okay. Well, yeah. After that rain, I now have goldfish swimming in my car. just so you know. Wow, wasn't that some rain, huh? Welcome to Season 7, Episode 15 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. We are brought to you by Grantham Home Hardware. We are supported by Verge Insurance, Ready Bins Niagara, powered by WeeStreem Niagara, Canada's premier streaming service. We are here as per usual at Fiddler's Poorhouse, 149 St. Paul Street, St. Catharines. These are your specials for today. If you want to come on down and join us for a bevy or a bite to eat or whatever. And I should have worn my big boy pants today. Man, we've had quite a difference. Yeah, come on by. Yeah, it's just public sidewalk. We have, man, it's turned chilly after all that heat. Anyway, yeah, we have a big show coming up today, so we want to get this underway as fast as we can. So come on in. There is a, believe it or not, Hollywood-style story going on. If Quentin Tarantino were to make this story, you would never believe that had been happening in Niagara. That's the kind of thing that we've got going on here right now. And we're going to kick off the program and tell you a bit more about it and fill you in as best we can. We've got the GM from the Niagara IceDogs coming up to be on the program. There is a sentencing hearing for Daniel Senecal, who has pled guilty to many charges here. So we're going to have Alicia Googoo on again and bring that up to date. We have a lot going on today. So come on in and we'll get set up, and thanks for being here. Cheers. Hey, welcome in, as I mentioned earlier, to Season 7, Episode 15. Now, check out this beautiful backscape that we have going on here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. You may not remember, but we've been doing this, as I mentioned earlier, for like 7 seasons. When we first started doing this program from here, we were in this beautiful open-air seating area at Fiddler's. And then we moved into the back area because there were other things going on here. So, but as of today, at least for today, I don't know if on into the future or not, who knows? But we kind of juxtapose ourselves depending on how things are going at Fiddler's. I mean, this is their place, so we kind of move ourselves around as conditions warrant. And it's so wonderful to be here live in the open window seating area of Fiddler's Poorhouse at 149 St. Paul Street, St. Catharines. So we have a live and in living color streetscape as a background, and this is just absolutely awesome. So welcome to the program. Thank you to Fiddler's for putting us out here in this beautiful spot. Now, without further ado, because we have a big show coming up, we have Alicia Googoo coming up, and she's going to be talking to us from outside the courthouse in St. Catharines in about 15 minutes or so about the sentencing hearing that is supposed to be taking place today of Daniel Senecal. Alicia's the founder of Heart on Our Sleeve. We'll talk to her more about that. Phil Demers is also going to be here. We're going to be talking about the update on the transferring of the beluga whales from Marineland to parts in the U.S., as far as I know. We've got, Dale DeGray is going to be here as well. He's the new general manager of the Niagara IceDogs. So we have a lot going on today. Now, Kevin, When I say Kevin, I am referring to my close personal friend and executive producer of the program, Kevin Jack. He is the co-founder of WeeStreem, Niagara and Canada's premier streaming service. The story that I mentioned off the top, that is like a Hollywood production, that if you didn't know it was real, you wouldn't think it was real. So, Thursday, a week ago tomorrow, a man who lived in Thorold was in his apartment, in his home. Two people, man and a woman, came into his abode, shot and killed him, and then left. We know who those people are, or at least we know who one of them is, and it was one of the more brazen, almost what I would call execution-style crimes that has happened in Niagara Falls. Now, what you're seeing on the left side of your screen is a picture of the couple, man and woman, Bonnie and Clyde style, Natural Born Killers style, if you remember that movie. There they are, just walking casually, hand in hand, in the street. And what they did is they went into Mitchell Snodden's home, shot him. 911 was called, emergency services were called, but Mitchell did not make it. He was pronounced dead at hospital, and perhaps he was dead prior to that. Then what happened is these two took off in a vehicle that police were tracking. Then they switched to another vehicle that police were also tracking, and now apparently they have still evaded capture, and they are in a third vehicle, and somewhere up in the GTA, was it not?
East of Peterborough is where they were spotted.
Oh, east of Peterborough, so it's way past the GTA.
It said Hastings on Highway 45.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get you to the vehicle in question. Now, who knows? They're onto their third vehicle, Lee.
That's what I mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
so they went from a white SUV to a black Mazda, and now they're apparently in a white Toyota that they are now looking for. So they've been able to track. That's apparently the car right there that they're looking for. So just to replay this in a Cole's Notes version, which means the shortened version of this, two people, man and woman, in a white SUV, brazenly, without any disguise or any concern about what they're doing, just strolling casually through the streets of Thorold, St. Catharines, go up to this fellow's address, get into his place of residence, and shoot him and kill him. And then they take off in the same white vehicle. Then they transfer that vehicle to a black Mazda vehicle, and off they go. And now somehow they've acquired, whether it be stolen or whatever, we're not sure, a white Toyota, and now they are east of Peterborough. And this is, like I said, the stuff of Hollywood drama. And if you didn't realize it was true, you wouldn't believe it was true. But this is what's happening in this story. This is a phenomenal story that is developing, and it's developing as we speak, and we have no further updated information for you on this. But we reached out to Mitchell Snodden's mother, as well as his sister. We didn't chat with his mother, Angela, but Kevin Jack, our executive producer, did chat with Diana, who is Mitchell Snodden's sister. And we wanted to have them on the program today, but after some back and forth communication, Diana decided to not participate in the program. Now, our conjecture on this is the fact that, as happens many, many, many times in situations like this, or not even as bizarre as this, oftentimes the police force and the investigators will, what's the best word? They will suggest that the family, the victims, not comment or communicate with the media, any way, stretch or form. Now, that couldn't be there couldn't be any worse advice than that. They can post things on social media, which they have done. They can talk to friends and family and whoever else is involved in this, and it's all over social media. Even the Peterborough news sources have been reporting on this story because it has sort of transferred through their broadcast and listenership and readership area. The last thing that people should be told to do is to not engage with the media, because the more that we are able to tell you, the more that we are able to share with you, the closer we get to being able to apprehend these people who are obviously pretty damn good at what they do, or just lucky or relentless or ruthless or careless, meaning they couldn't care less whether they get taught or not. This is really like a natural born killers type movie. There will be a movie at some point in time made about this, unfortunately for the Snodden family. But unfortunately, law enforcement will, and I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, and I don't mean to dish you, but I'm sorry, this is bad advice. Law enforcement will always tell people not to engage with the media. They will tell them, don't talk to them because it will impede the investigation. Well, that's crap. It will not impede the investigation. It can't do anything more than help the investigation. The more the story gets out, the more people you talk to, the more people you share this information with, the greater your ability is to connect people that will help you solve this problem and find these people. So I'm sure that there is great confusion and there is great angst, and our hearts go out to Diana, Mitchell's sister, and his mother Angela, whom we have not chatted with. But
I mean, Lee, there's a photo there, and I mean, everything you said is bang on. That's Angela. A lot of people may know her as Grumpy Grandma. She runs,
right, I meant to mention that. Yeah,
she runs 2 food trucks around Niagara. Grumpy Grandma's in Welland, which is right across from St. Jean de Brébeuf and right by Young's. A lot of people have gone there. And she also runs one that is down at the boat club.
Yes.
Off of Lions Creek.
Yeah. So that's Mitchell in the background, and that's his mom, Angela. Now, there is a lot of conjecture. There's a lot of what ifs. Oh well, is it drugs? Is it this? Is it that? And we don't know, and we're not going to guess. There is something connecting these 3 people: the man and woman that came in and shot and killed Mitchell, and Mitchell himself. Probably people that were engaged in some sort of activity which we are unaware of, but that notwithstanding, nobody should be in the position of having a couple come into their home and kill them and take off. And the rather strange is, and I'm sorry we keep reliving this story, is the fact they were just so nonchalant. It's like they had no conscience at all about what they were doing. They were walking around. They weren't really trying to disguise themselves too much. The fellow had a bit of a mask on. In one of the earlier pictures that Kevin put up on the screen there, he had a mask on, but he certainly wasn't trying to really hide his identity. And apparently, law enforcement knows who this guy is. These people have been arrested before. There are hundreds of comments that have been floating around on social media about this couple and the history that they have with law enforcement and the legal system of this country, which brings me full circle to my comment before, is it's all over social media. Why cannot we talk to the family and get this out to you and share their story because law enforcement says they can't. Now, I can't guarantee that that's what they were told, but I would probably make a pretty large bet on the online gambling systems that are rampant across this country. I'd put a pretty large bet on the fact that law enforcement asked these people or told these people, don't talk to the media. Don't talk to the media. That's not a good thing. And I'll bet they did, and that's the wrong advice.
Yeah, Lee, just going to hop to our Zoom room here. We post the Zoom link all the time and invite people to come onto the program. Mary hopped in the show right off the top. I don't know whether it pertains to this topic or not, but okay. I wanted to give her an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Mary, can you hear us? And what is it that you want to say?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, my question was about the murders you spoke about, and I have to think that, it's all black people's fault. Like, I hate niggers.
Okay, that's enough. Thanks, Mary, for nothing.
You waited for that, Mary?
Wow.
Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
By the way, her name is Mary Claret.
Yeah, so there you go.
Mary Claret. Thanks for that hatred, Mary. Lee, these people are known to...
Ooh.
Yeah, did not expect it. Just so you know, she waited in the Zoom room for about 10 minutes for that. Told me her camera was broken, which, your camera's never broken.
And we don't pre-record anything. If we had, that would have never made it live.
My apologies.
Wow.
There's no room for that hate speech.
No.
Here are the people in question, Lee. There's Josta McNeil, 30 years old. And obviously these people known to police. I mean, they have mugshots.
Yeah.
And this is Maroof Bangi. And east of Peterborough, about 30 minutes, was the...
was the last we heard of them?
Yeah, it was the last we heard of them.
30 minutes ago? All right.
30 kilometers east of Peterborough.
30 kilometers.
That was yesterday afternoon, and who knows, they could be onto another vehicle by now. There were reports, Lee, and you want to talk about speculation. There were reports that have surfaced, and that's why we wanted to talk to the family, was try and dismiss some of the speculation and erroneous reports. We had a guy who said that he saw them in Timmins. We saw people that said they saw them in Muskoka.
Wow.
There's people that say, hey, she posted to her Instagram and she dyed her hair red. Other people said, no, that's an old photo. No, she chopped her hair off. No, she didn't chop her hair off.
So these two are well known to a certain segment of our population, and they're still at large. And this is really this is Bonnie and Clyde stuff going on here. It's an amazing story.
It's crazy, Lee, that this is happening right here in Niagara. Like, daylight, they didn't take any real care to conceal themselves. Those photos that we were showing that the police shared were obviously taken from surveillance cameras from Chuck's Roadhouse.
As I mentioned,
so they just walk around the corner.
Yeah.
Don't conceal their... I mean, the guy had a scarf over his face, but barely concealing your identity.
Yeah, but that's almost like a COVID coverage. He wasn't trying to... I mean, they know who this guy is. Wow.
Could have waited,
But it was... Now, what do you... Again, I don't want to engage in too much conjecture or what-ifs, but this story is the kind of story that leads you to wonder and ask a lot of questions. Were these two people personally connected with this fellow, or were they personally connected to someone else who contracted them to do this job? Because it seemed to me like it was some sort of execution. I mean, they knew where they were going. This wasn't a deal gone bad or some sort of robbery turned into a murder scene. This was two people drove in a vehicle, go into somebody's home, shoot them, and leave. It was a very strategically arranged, purposely done crime. And then they left, and then had heads up enough plans to change vehicles pretty fast, twice, so that they could get out of the area. And to get all the way east, 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers east of Peterborough, they're heading into the Kawarthas now. And when you get into that area, there are a lot of places you can go.
Now, Lee, people wondered why they've been charged with second-degree murder when it seems so premeditated. My assumption is that once more facts and once they apprehend that those charges will probably be upgraded to a first-degree murder.
I would think
And
so, and I think that's the initial charge you have to go with.
I think so. Lee, we got Alicia joining us here live from the courthouse. We got the car alarm that's going off. This is a live show. Let's run through our sponsors, including Grantham Home Hardware. They got a big event coming up next weekend.
Yeah.
And then we'll get Alicia on the show.
Yeah. Thank you, whoever has got the car alarm going. Grantham Home Hardware, our premier sponsor. Thank you very much, and sorry for the beep beep beeps in the background. Thank you very much for hitting that button. Grantham Home Hardware has a celebration event coming up July 31st through August the 2nd. 3 days of great deals, great food, all kinds of fun, in-store specials. There's a tent sale with items up to 80% off. There's a fundraising barbecue going to be held there as well on site. This is Grantham Home Hardware, Vine and Scott in Niagara, that area, Grantham Plaza in St. Catharines. There's going to be some live music by Katie Gata from noon to 3. And there is a possibility that this here Niagara 411 Live will be doing a bit of a broadcast from there. We haven't got it 100% sorted out yet, but as far as we're concerned, we might very well be on site as well to help the guys celebrate their great holiday summer weekend. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Thank you, Jake and Rob, for putting this on. So don't forget, Grantham Home Hardware celebration event, July 31st, all the way through August 2nd. And on the 1st, which is a Saturday, chances are we'll see you there if you come on out. We hope you do. Also, to Verge Insurance Group, we appreciate you also sticking with us here. 2 locations in Niagara, one on Ontario Street, their head office just 9 iron from here, and also a location in Niagara Falls for auto, home, business, life insurance, whatever your needs. Verge Insurance Group is the brokers you want to talk to, as well as Ready Bins Niagara. This is our newest sponsor. Bin, dumpster rentals, and junk remover. They have an all-inclusive pricing on bin rentals, and they've got delivery, fast and easy to you. It fits in small spaces. The dumpsters can go in any place you might fit a small car. They will operate on your schedule. They don't dictate the schedule. They'll do it whenever you need it done. They'll roll out red carpets to your driveway with the ultimate protection of your property so that nothing gets damaged along the way. All-inclusive low prices and personalized service. Dumpster bags available as well. So check them out. ReadyBinsNiagara.ca. All right, check them out. And we thank them for being a part of us. Kevin Jack, of course, is the co-founder of WeeStream, and it's their technology and Kevin's executive producership skills that put this thing together. Now, here's a story that has been going on for quite some time. Crimes that you would not ever conceive that someone would commit, i.e., breaking into someone's house at night and assaulting their less than 5-year-old offspring. How does that happen? Who does this? Who could possibly even dream of doing it? Well, Daniel Senecal is the person that allegedly did these things. He pled guilty to many counts of under the criminal code connected to this kind of crime. The one that we've talked about most often happened in Welland. We've had Alicia Googoo on the program numerous times. Alicia is the founder of Heart on Our Sleeve, an organization dedicated to exposing and talking about that taboo subject that we don't want to talk about, which is child molestation. She herself a victim of such an activity. Alicia, welcome back to the program. You're outside City Hall today?
I'm actually in my car at the moment. It's chilly outside and it's windy, so it's just easier to hear.
That's perfect. Right? So bring us up to date with what's going on. I know Daniel was supposed to be at this hearing, I think it was yesterday, and they moved it to today. So can you bring us up to date?
Correct. So today they are having a trial. We're hearing some witness testimony today. It's still proceeding as we speak. So after this interview, I'll be heading back into the courtroom. I'm sure, well, actually, they'll probably be breaking for lunch, but yeah, I have to be very cautious with what I say because there's 2 publication bans in place when it comes to this case. So okay. I can't give too much details or identifying factors, but yeah, so. Mm-hmm.
All right, so what have you experienced so far? Today.
So today, well, they ran into an issue. So Daniel pled guilty on June 23rd.
Right.
To a lot of the charges, not all of them, but most of them, to, the assault on little E, who I can say she is 3 years old. So
3 years.
Very small. So he had pled guilty to those offenses. And now he is backtracking, saying that he can't remember. But there's enough evidence. There's enough evidence to implicate him. So they moved forward and they said, well, we're sticking with that plea at this point. So now they are trying. My understanding is there was some CSAM material found on his device. So they had to review those files.
Okay.
And now they're going to be trying him for that.
Okay. So, Alicia, let me rewind here just a little bit because that's some information that I didn't have. He pled guilty. He was supposed to be attending a sentencing, what they referred to as a sentencing hearing yesterday, but that was delayed until today. So, but now what you're telling me is that he's changed his plea, and so this is now a trial and not a sentencing hearing?
So he didn't as much change his plea. He's just kind of backtracking, saying he can't remember that night because he was in a blackout state from alcohol, alcohol-induced blackout. And but the problem is, when the courts read the statement of facts, he agreed that there was enough evidence to implicate him. So therefore, they're moving forward with the guilty plea. And there's also, so basically he had other charges that he hasn't answered to yet, which is for the CSAM material that was found in his device. Okay. So they're doing a trial for that, and he has to answer to those charges as well.
And then my understanding, is that happening today?
I'm not too sure. When I return, I will find out more about that. There's also a court date set for tomorrow, so it might be extending into tomorrow.
So this has changed the view of what was supposed to be happening today, because it was, as I mentioned earlier, this was dubbed a sentencing hearing. Well, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any sentencing happening today.
Not yet. So my understanding is tomorrow they may set a date for sentencing, which might be in the fall.
But if there's new information that they're trying to, like, he doesn't remember or whatever, it just seems a little bit suspect to me that they're going to go ahead with a full guilty plea, because if he's pleading,
they've already. Sorry.
So no, go ahead.
Cut you off. They've already moved past that. They've already moved. The judge stepped away for a half an hour. Reviewed all the information. Like I said, when they read the statement of facts, there was enough evidence to use against him, and he understands that. So he's moving forward with his guilty plea.
Okay.
But when they searched his device, there was CSAM material found in it, a lot of files. So they had to review those files and then do a trial for that before they can move forward with the sentencing. So my understanding now is that on the 23rd, they may set a sentencing date, which is likely going to be in the fall now.
Okay. Kevin?
CSAM, explain that.
So that is child sexual assault material. They used to refer it to as child pornography, but child pornography implicates willingness, and we all know that children are not willing. So they have now changed it to CSAM material, which is child sexual assault material.
Ah, okay.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness they recognize.
Is Daniel in custody this whole time?
I'm sorry?
Is Daniel in custody this whole time? And what you're talking about is possibly a delay into the fall. So I mean, we're going to drag this thing out another maybe 3-4 months. I know the courts move slow, but is that kind of what you're hearing?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But what you hear and what happens is two different things. So I should have more information, hopefully by the end of tomorrow, like by late afternoon.
Well, we'll talk again, obviously, and we'll check in with you, I think, probably in a couple of weeks when we do our next show, because this has all the earmarks to me of something that's going to drag on a lot longer than we had anticipated. It just has that feel.
I can appreciate the court's willingness to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. They want to make sure that there's not going to be any loopholes, that he can, find his way out of this. You know what I mean? Have it appealed or whatnot. So it's
going to drag out the proceedings for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Alicia, just to clarify timeline on things, a couple of new pieces of information here. The CSAM material on his phone, and now this recollection, or I guess lack of recollection, that I was blackout, drunk, high, whatever it is, and I don't remember the incident itself. When did these things occur in a timeline aspect, and how did that affect the sentencing hearing?
Honestly, I'm not too sure exactly how it all went about. But when the courts reviewed the statement of facts, and prior to his guilty plea, he understood that there was enough evidence to use against him. So either way, he was pleading to that whether he remembers or not, he's pleading to the fact that he agrees that there's enough evidence to use against him.
And the CSAM material on his phone, wouldn't this been part of a very initial investigation? Like, why is this new information? Why was this not discovered a year ago?
My understanding was that the new charges for the CSAM material, I believe it happened within the last couple months, where new charges were added to his case.
Okay.
And there was a lot of files.
Alicia, and you said they're going to be on a lunch break, probably right about now. And court will be reconvening this afternoon. What is your expectation as to the discussion or the events or the process that's going to be happening this afternoon? Based on what you've already told us, and there's going to be another event on the 23rd, a couple days from now, or tomorrow. What do you expect to happen, or what is the process that you think will happen this afternoon in court?
Right. So they are trying to basically categorize him as a dangerous offender. So I feel like the delay into the fall might have part to do with that. And my understanding is he is just learning about this now. So he's a high profile case, very much like Paul Bernardo, and he is clearly a dangerous offender. So I'm hoping that by tomorrow we will have a sentencing date.
Will he
hopefully sooner than later?
Will he remain in custody?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. And that's a given. That's not debatable.
Yeah. That's not debatable. No, he is 100% staying in custody.
Okay. Alicia Googoo, thank you very much for being here with us once again, and I have a feeling we'll be talking once again in a couple of weeks. If you don't mind kind of keeping your schedule open for us, that would be awesome, and we'll have you bring us up to date.
Okay, thank you again.
Okay, yeah.
Have a good day.
Thanks. Thanks. Boy, Kevin, a couple of stories to kick off this pivotal program that you don't think you want to have happen in your backyard, but they do happen in everybody's backyard at one time or another. It's just crazy. They walk among us. They really do. Wow. Thank you to Grantham Home Hardware, Verge Insurance Group, Ready Bins Niagara, for continuing to support this program, and Fiddler's Poorhouse in this beautiful location. When we started this program, I don't know, 800 years ago, we were set up in this spot, winter, summer, spring, fall. Sometimes we were freezing, but it was just a really cool place to be when you're thinking that it's a live show and what's happening behind us is actually life in action, life being lived in real time, and we're a part of it, and we just absolutely love it, and we love to be able to make you a part of it as well. Car alarms included, sirens and fire alarms and everything included. The local flora and fauna of Niagara streams at our back here on the program, and we just absolutely love it. Kevin, what's going on in the WeeStream world these days? You guys have been pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, gosh. And me personally, I've been all over the place, Lee. If you're listening on the airwaves, I was filling in, doing some radio the last few days in Niagara Falls at 105.1.
Real radio?
101.1, yeah, real terrestrial
Real
radio.
radio?
Real terrestrial radio was doing that the last couple of days. In a couple of weekends, we're looking to make a big splash out at Grantham Home Hardware, so very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, really.
And other than that, trying to squeeze in some vacation here, there, and everywhere, and love being back in front of the open air here with St. Paul Street as our backdrop. Lee, just beyond those buildings, the Meridian Center, home of the Niagara IceDogs. We've got Dale DeGray here in our green room. I'm just going to throw up a headline here from the OHL from May 27th, and it really changed the shape of the management structure for the Niagara IceDogs, and we'll get Dale on the show.
Yeah. So these were the headlines from the OHL when Dale DeGray became the new general manager of the Niagara IceDogs. And he joins us now because we have been, over the last couple seasons or so, we've been trying to be perfectly honest, we've been trying to connect with the IceDogs organization, and it hasn't been the easiest thing in the world. And we were walking, or they were walking, we were sitting in here one day, and Dale and his team happened to walk by. And said, hey, how you doing? Good, fine, yeah. So flash forward to today, and here we are, the new general manager of the Niagara IceDogs, Dale DeGray is joining us. Hey, Dale, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's funny how things work out that way.
Isn't it?
You had just sent me an email.
Well, I'm really glad you could take some time out to join us today, and I know it's the off season and everybody wants to be on vacation and having a good time at the lake or whatever, but it's going to be a big year for the Niagara IceDogs, big changes, etc., and you are, of course, probably the biggest change that the organization has seen over the last little while. I would love it if you could give us a little bit of, this is a two-part question, a little bit of your background, who is Dale DeGray, as well as how you came to be the new GM of the Niagara IceDogs.
Well, listen, a little bit about me. I don't know if I can do a little bit about me, but I'll try to give you the
you can do a lot if you want. That's all right.
Yeah, well, listen, it's, you know what, I played for the Oshawa Generals from 79 to 82. I played 17 years pro, 4.5 years in the NHL. I've played everywhere professionally, from Moncton, New Brunswick to San Diego, California. I say I played, the funny part of that is I played 17 years. I have 18 different jerseys. So that should tell you a little bit about my career.
Yeah.
Right? And then I coached for a little bit in the old United Hockey League, which made me realize pretty quickly that, you know what, and I tell every coach that I get now, is that I do not want to coach. That is not my plan. I'm not one of those guys. I enjoyed the management, the recruiting, the signing, that sort of side of the deal. I scouted with the Florida Panthers for 7 years, and then I took the job in Owen Sound. And I don't think anybody would have convinced me back then that I would have been doing the same job with the same ownership group in the same town for 19 years. That just doesn't usually happen anymore. But I was 19 years there, and then new ownership group came in. They wanted to go in a different direction and bring in their own people, which is fine. I was perfectly good with it, and the opportunity came up in Niagara to try to help this organization out, and I think I can. I know I have been, and here we are today.
Okay, Dale. Now, well, you said the opportunity came up for here in Niagara. you were, correct me if I'm wrong, scouted by and appointed by, for the lack of a better word, the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. They were, I don't know. I mean, I've casually said they wanted an adult in the room sort of a deal, right?
Yeah.
And I look at I've done it a long time. I'd like to think that I'm well respected around the league, not just from different managers, but from the ownership group and governors that have been around. They certainly know how I go about my business, and I mean, I think everybody felt that I would be a good fit to come in here and help the organization and sort of get it, back on track. Because quite honestly, I mean, my ties to the Niagara area aren't other than the fact that I'm good friends with Steve Ludzik, and we were roommates and teammates for a while. But playing against him when they were in Niagara Falls. Other than that, you know what? This should be a sort of a cornerstone organization, destination for everybody to want to come to, and I think I want to try to get it there, quite frankly.
Well, I mean, a lot of us have known Ludsey for years. He's been a great Niagaran and a booster of the peninsula and obviously the hockey world. And it's no secret, in full transparency, it's no secret that the IceDogs have been a troubled franchise for the last few years, including some directions to their ownership of not being allowed to be involved in the management and the day-to-day activities of the team, etc. So there's a lot of detritus in the way. There's a lot of baggage that comes with being a general manager of this team. How are you able to, and have you been able to kind of maneuver your way through and jockey your position to sort of settle things down and change the narrative of the Niagara IceDogs' recent history?
Yeah, I think, part and parcel for me to come in was that I would be able to, go about my day-to-day business as I see fit, like I have for the last 19 years, basically, to be honest. And so far, I've, whether the fans are going to appreciate the trades that I've made or not, I get all that, right? And in order to move forward, those are some things that had to happen, and I think we did a good job as far as getting, fair market value for the players going out, to bring in some younger players that will be here for the next few years, no matter how the organization moves forward. And I had there was no handcuffs on me. There was nobody whispering in my ear to do this or that. These were things that I felt the organization needed, and so if people want to criticize it, they can certainly criticize me for it. If they want to pat me on the back for it, that's fine too.
Well, you brought up you brought up a point there as far as trades and movements, etc. And I'm going to bring Kevin in here because he's more out of the two of us. He's the main hockey guy. But the big trade with Ryan Rubrick is something that people that are close to the Dogs will talk about. Kev?
Well, yeah, just on that. I mean, trade this year, some casual fans might look and say, oh my God, new GM comes in, sells off our biggest prospect. Just got drafted second round, I think, to the Chicago Blackhawks. You moved him on. But of course, this is all part of a grander vision. I know that, everybody might not. So talk about that trade and how it's maybe the cornerstone of your vision moving forward for the team.
Well, I think you take him and you take Ethan Zada. They're both, as you mentioned, cornerstone pieces to this organization. And I think, rightfully or wrongfully, over the past few years, these guys have had, 3 or 4 different coaches and general managers. And I think if you go back and you look at my past, I traded the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. So it's not the first time I've ever done something like this myself. And I think in order to move organizations along sometimes, you have to do some things sometimes that aren't as popular as a lot of people might want, and those are things that you have to be willing to do. I'm willing to do it, and I think in the long run for the organization, I think it will benefit everybody involved. And even Ryan. It's going to benefit Ryan. It's going to benefit Ethan for their opportunity this year moving forward. And I think, for myself, for the organization, when agents see that you're willing to do this,
Right.
And for the right reason for the player, if we want to get the individuals,
Yes.
then I think that goes well for the organization moving forward.
And I mean, those things are important too. It's not just what the people, the outsiders see when they talk about a top prospect or a top player or a star of the team or whatever. You've got to have desire on the players' point of view as well to participate in what's going forward and be part of the vision. And vision is an important thing. And you seem to me, I don't know you very, very well yet, but you seem to me to somebody that has, if somebody's going to make moves like this that are fairly big moves, you have some sort of vision. You have some sort of 35,000-foot view, as they would say, of things. One of the things that people are probably interested in is how the recruitment process is going for coach.
Oh, we need a coach? Well, I will tell you this. Some people have asked me, "Are you putting your name in?" Like me, right? And I'm like,
you?
As I said earlier about my
You're
career,
not. You said you're not a coaching guy.
I am not putting my name. There's no hat going in the ring from Dale DeGray to coach the team. I can promise you that. So, and listen, it comes with its own, difficulties and bumps in the road when you're trying to hire coaches, because they all have their own sort of forecasted plan to move forward, right? And some of them I've gone down the road with, and if Niagara is not part of it, then it's not part of it. I can't convince somebody, to come into something that might be, a little bit clouded, and throw their hat fully into the ring to try to be that guy. So. We're close. I will be honest with you. We're close. I'm close with 3 different coaches. So the head coach and 2 assistants. So we'll see how it all plays out probably over the next week, I would say.
Kevin?
Dale, you talk about convincing people, the players, but what about the fans? We've seen over the last couple of years, season ticket sales are down. People are a little hesitant maybe to buy in. Convince the fans. Why should they re-engage with the IceDogs and get butts back in the seats?
Well, I think I would say this: come watch a game, give us a few games to get our feet underneath us. I think we're going to be a young team, although I think a lot of the league is going to be young. But I think we're going to be naive. We're not going to know any better that we're not supposed to beat certain teams. I think we'll be solid from the goaltending on out. I'm expecting us to play incredibly hard. If we don't have the puck, I'm expecting us to want to go and get it. And I think we're going to have some guys have breakout years. Some of the guys we've brought in, I expect them to have breakout years. They'll be given opportunity to have breakout years. So I think we'll be a fast, hard-working. That's something that my teams have always been. Blue-collar, hard-working, entertaining brand of hockey. And I think give us a chance. We'll sell you on the entertainment dollar.
Okay.
And that's sort of the premise of what we want to try to do. And I think if you come, you'll become fan favorite. You'll have fan favorites, and buy the jersey, become a part of it for the next 2, 3, 4 years.
Dale, this is going to be like a deep dive into hockey, so I apologize to people that are just watching on the surface. The eligibility for players to go NCAA now when they reach, how is that affecting or changing how you govern or how the OHL governs their league?
Yeah, listen, it's definitely thrown a sort of a curveball into all the CHL hockey. But it's not all negative. It's not all negative. I mean, I've always said to the kids, the more options that they have, the better it is for them to make decisions, to make good decisions, to make better career moves. And I still believe that that's the case. I think right now the NCAA It's a little bit frothy for what they think it is, and how many guys they think they can pull out to play. I think over the next couple of years, I think you're going to see that settle down, and it'll be less say 18-year-olds leave, because I do think it's a big step for an 18-year-old. So I do think that that'll be the case. On the flip side of that, I'm in touch. I'm in contact with NCAA schools. I'm talking to them about some of their European recruitments that they want to bring over, so that we can be a part of, helping solve their problems about bringing kids over and they don't know where they're going to play for the next 2 years before they play in the NCAA. So it does work a little bit of both ways, and I think I've always been, when I was in Owen Sound, I had an open door policy with all the NCAA coaches and recruiters. I wanted to see them. I wanted to shake their hand and welcome them in, and hopefully that way we have an open door policy that they won't sort of stick it to us when they get a chance, or if they feel they need to. And I think so far for me, moving along, I've had the good relationship, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah, and Lee, I'll give you back your show here in just a second, but okay. Dale, I was kind of guiding you down the road. I honestly think that this is going to make the IceDogs and all teams across the CHL better. That's where I was leading you. I really think this is going to make everybody pull up their bootstraps.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And part of it is, if you watch the OHL or you go to their website, they talk about, improving league minimums, the standards, and all of that, and we're all doing it. We're all doing it so that the environment for every player coming in now should and will be better, and hopefully, that's what you have to do. You have to sell your program. You have to sell what you're doing. You have to sell the whole environment, the town, everything, so that they don't want to leave when they're 18, and they're going to compare it. Yeah, some schools you're not going to be able to compare it to because they've got a gym that's, might be worth $10 million. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It makes it difficult.
So, before we let you go, and I know you and Kevin and of your ilk, you have hockey as part of your DNA. A lot of people like me do not. So, what I would like to do is for you to, in 800,000 words or less, clarify just what the hell it is you guys have been talking about. Because this NCAA thing and the OHL thing and all the rest of it, this is a haze that has gone over the heads of many people that are watching this program right now, because they have no idea what you're talking about. So tell us what you were talking about.
Okay, so the NCAA has just become, in the last probably 24 months, they have the ability to recruit CHL players, OHL players, IceDog players, where they weren't able to before. In the past, if you played in the OHL, you basically forfeited the opportunity to play NCAA hockey. Now they've opened up that door, and now they can recruit our players. And let's be honest, our league is about as good as it gets for players to go as an 18 or a 19-year-old from our league to go play NCAA. Hence a lot of kids have gone and are going in that route, and then going on to play pro hockey.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it certainly does. It certainly so the naysayers would say it perhaps waters down your league, but the proponents will say it supports players' opportunities and the leagues to work together.
It definitely supports the overall development of the players, but you have to remember it's not going to affect, if you've got 22 or 23 players on your team, it might only affect 2 or 3 of them sometime down the road.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna kick you loose here, Dale, to get on with your day job. But I have to tell you, while listening to this conversation, you sure talk like a coach to me.
I'm not a coach. I am not a coach. But hey, before I leave, and I don't know how many listeners are in the immediate area, I do have to say, we are trying to recruit, this is going to be a bit of a sales pitch. We're trying to recruit some billets. So if you are all interested in billeting, and we cannot do this without billets, I promise you that, right? please reach out to the front office and ask some questions about billeting, and they will probably get you in touch with me somewhere down the road. But I would love to have some traction on that.
Dale DeGray, thanks for joining us. I think you've kind of given us a shot of excitement for the coming season. It's a big job you've got, and I think you're probably up to the task. We really appreciate your time, and hopefully throughout the season we'll have a chance to stay in touch and keep track of how the IceDogs are doing. I
appreciate the opportunity, and guys, listen. I know we crossed paths walking by,
yeah.
But I'll definitely come on. We'll probably have to close up your back window there as your backdrop at some point, but I'd love to be a part of it again.
Thanks, man. Okay, Dale, have a good season to you. All right. Well, this feels positive to me, Kevin. This whole shift, and I know it's an evolutionary process. As they say, everything's a process. This feels good.
Yeah, I couldn't be more optimistic for the team than I am right now, especially since what's happened since the sale in the last 5 years. They've been cycling through coaches. There's been a lot of negative rhetoric in the community, and it looks like Dale said, they needed an adult in the room. And
that was a good line.
Great for him to say that, because that's what everybody was thinking.
Yeah,
so I'm so glad to have Dale on board, and he brings with him as well. We met Denise, and we met some of the other kind of management staff there,
right.
And these guys are pros. They've got experience. They come from excellent backgrounds of success. So the IceDogs' future is looking bright for a change, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, really. It was really nice to meet Dale and get to know him a little bit here on the program. We really appreciate his time. Coming up in a few moments, Phil Demers, the Walrus Whisperer, and again, the person that has been the linchpin of the Marineland story development for many years now. And the belugas have been back in the headlines, as apparently they are getting ready to move, or have moved, or some have moved and some haven't. And that's really why we're going to talk to Phil, is we're going to try to get an update on exactly what is going on there as the Marineland saga, and what a saga it has been, is continuing to wind down. So Phil's going to be joining us in a few minutes. I want to thank once again our sponsors, Grantham Home Hardware, our primary sponsor here. They got a big weekend coming up from July 31st through August the 2nd. That's the long holiday weekend. And on the August 1st, I think Kevin and I might be stopping by to do a little bit of a live stream of their celebration event. 3 days of great deals, food and fun, in-store specials, a tent sale with some items up to 80% off. There's a fundraising barbecue. Katie Gata is going to be providing some music from noon to 3, and it's just going to be a lot of fun at Grantham Home Hardware in the Grantham Plaza in St. Catharines. So sort of pencil that or pen that in for us. Verge Insurance Group, Mark Shirk and the gang, thank you so much for again being part of this program for as long as you have. You just continue to be a quiet but absolutely stalwart supporter of this program, be it auto, home, business, life insurance. Verge Insurance Group, serving Niagara since 1953. And our newest sponsor, Ready Bins Niagara, also ready and able to serve you with fast and easy delivery of recycling bins and garbage bins, and like the size of you see some of these massive things. There's no way I could do that, but you'll see that picture right there. They can put one of these bins anywhere you might park a small car, right? And they'll do it safely and treating your property with respect, and all-inclusive low pricing for you. So all you have to do is give them a call for a quote, and they'll give you a discount off your first rental. 3-yard bin, 1-day rental, $425. There you go. So that's a pretty good deal if you've compared any of these prices. And whoever's selling car alarms in St. Catharines is really doing a great business behind us.
That guy just keeps sitting on his key fob. Eh? Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah.
Lee, just going to get Phil lined up here. He's not in the green room yet, but I know that you were particularly interested in showcasing some of the flooding around Niagara, because, I mean, it came down.
Yeah, we were, we meaning my wife and I, she was driving, we were driving between, where were we? We were in Niagara Falls. We were heading toward Fort Erie, and it was some of the heaviest rain I have ever been in a vehicle driving through. It was almost impossible to drive. We could barely see, but we just slowed down. But these are some of the shots that have popped up on Niagara 411 and elsewhere over social media. I think that's Ontario Street.
Yeah, the first one was, this one I think is Welland Ave.
Yeah.
East part of town.
And there was some in, I saw some out of Beamsville, Kevin, and the Beamsville shot had water up to the window frames.
Oh gosh, this is Mud Street in Grimsby.
Yeah. Look at that. Unbelievable. And man, did it come down. We actually, we live in the north end of St. Catharines, and in the interest of full disclosure, we had a little bit of a flood in our backyard. So, yeah, we have one of those backsplit houses that have a stairwell down to the back door or the side door, whatever you want to call it, the second entrance. And it's always been a problem because the small drain that's down there doesn't really have enough capacity to handle a huge downpour like that. So I have a few towels down in the hallway and down into my home studio, still on the floor that I have to clean up. But man, it was absolutely something. And I haven't seen any report on whether there were any serious injuries as a result. So hopefully everybody behaved themselves and were driving properly and didn't have a problem. Phil Demers, as well, he actually needs no introduction at this point. Over the years, he's been with us many times, and he's been with Joe Rogan and all these folks. And basically, Marineland has been the albatross around Phil's neck for a long, long time. Phil, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Great, thanks. Pleasure to be here as always.
Yeah. Okay, so are we, as Winston Churchill said, are we nearing the beginning of the end, or are just the end of the beginning when it comes to the last vestiges of Marineland?
I feel as though Marineland's had a series of beginnings of ends, but certainly with regards to their collection of marine mammals, that will be coming to an end within weeks. Which also signifies that of their entire existence. So yeah, certainly the beginning of the big end.
Well, that's a positive for a lot of us. Back in the day, the facilities like Marineland and SeaWorld and all those places, it was a different kind of time back then. It was a different feel. There were different sensibilities. There were different concepts of how you treat animals and how you treat the environment and all those things. Very, very different time all those decades ago. So at the end of it all, it's a good thing that we're finally winding this thing down. But I know that there are still many people that would love to have an update onto exactly where we are with, in particular, the belugas that we have been debating over the last months and years, etc. So what is your take on what's happening right now?
Well, what's happening right now is exactly what I said would happen the last time we spoke, when everyone was trying to cry panic during Marineland's blustery euthanasia threats. I was at the other end laughing, saying, that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. This is just another leverage ploy by a familiar player who's the controlling mind of Marineland. And here we are exactly as I verbatim suggested, which was there was going to be a consortium of facilities in the U.S. They're going to come to the table. The narrative, the framing has to be a rescue. They're not facilities that would have otherwise done business with Marineland. That would have come with terrible PR, etc. So this is low risk for these facilities. But I do want to stress that the issue with Marineland was not merely a question of captivity. So, certainly some people will look back and say, oh, it was a different time and now we understand better of how we treat animals. But it was specifically their treatment within that captivity and the fact that Marineland would do little to nothing in the interest of the animals, where it was very necessary. And so, the level of suffering that those animals experienced was exponentially worse than that of at other facilities.
Wow. It's interesting that you say that, because it sort of goes against how I introduced the topic in the beginning, is the fact that, so your take on the thing is, even when regulations and sensibilities and all that weren't as highly thought of it as they are today, even then, even by the standards set back then, the treatment was not sufficient.
The record speaks for itself. If we had not banned whale breeding, Marineland would have 30 more and another 20 plus dead in the past 5 years since that happened, since we passed Bill S-203. That was a necessary thing. A lot of people are shocked that Marineland has 30 to move. And frankly, the facilities that they're going to are at capacity just about. So it's really not doing any real favors to the facilities as well. It puts quite a burden on them.
Yeah.
So the whole of it is a mess. But had we not mitigated that mess in advance of this, it would be far, far worse.
Phil, I have to, when it comes to any infraction on any level, be it with animals, be it in society or crime or whatever, the operative word always is why. Why why and how, I suppose, was this situation either allowed to, or did it exist? I'm having a hard time asking the question. I mean, you were part of it. How and why did this happen? Like, it's not brain surgery or rocket science, you know?
So the animals largely existed in a void of laws up until we sort of passed S-203, which was rather progressive. And then even in advance of that, years ago, there was updated standards of care for marine mammal captivity in the province of Ontario. But despite all of that, and those pieces of law having teeth when they were eventually created, there was the other challenge of political will. Every time Marineland found themselves in court, they were written off as, and they were just exonerated every time. So there's a long history of lobbying. There's a long history of a lack of laws, and then there's the big law, which sees animals as property, and it becomes a challenge of how do you prove that property is suffering? Well, it kind of changes the entire definition of it. They have no personhood. And so this is where the exception of the law, Bill S-203, which is the whale captivity ban we passed, that gives the whales a level of personhood. And with that, their best interests have to be considered. And so that's how the minister was able to reject the export permits to China, despite the fact that I would have been behind some of those animals leaving for lack of space at the U.S. facilities. But that said, the law did work in the way that it was designed to, in that now the animals are in a place with greater animal oversight, animal cruelty laws, and measures to create problems for facilities that exist outside of that of the law.
How long is this transfer going to take, in your opinion, and what kind of conditions are we moving these animals into?
Immediately better conditions, better water, better professional standards of care, better reputation, better overall records, etc. I don't like to endorse the facilities because at the end of the day, I don't see any of them as meeting the standard of what would be necessary to care for those animals properly. But the fact that there's oversight matters, and the fact that they're still proximity-wise in a space where I can still advocate for them. So, if I need to get my ass out to San Antonio, Texas for some reason, then I will be there. But this is gonna take until mid-August if all goes well. Weather challenges, logistics get in the way often. It'll be 4 flights, so I believe only 3 more remaining. No, there'll be more than that. I've seen the flight schedule, but it's always tentative. So these things are subject to change. But with that, certainly before September and into October, this will all be done. That's a certainty. These moves will be accomplished.
So the end is in sight. That's good. Who's bearing the cost of this transaction?
So I have no idea. That's another question that would be left to Marineland's lawyer to answer, and he, of course, will not. So there's no way of knowing. I would have to guess that the host facilities would have some interest in taking on the costs, in that they're essentially getting the animals free. So there's some incentive on covering it. But outside, I have no idea. There's the question of whether or not taxpayer dollars were used. I hope that in the event that they were, that Marineland fully disclosed their finances to show that they can pay it back, and I hope that that's the caveat, that they do pay it back. But I remind anyone, if there's a level of frustration in that taxpayer dollars are going to be used to do this, I might remind you that there's 64 years of Marineland collecting and paying taxes on the back of those suffering whales to consider and all of that. So
I don't think there's a taxpayer that would mind their taxes going in that direction. I really
and
don't.
I don't care to waste a lot of time defending it. 64 years of what those animals endured for they deserve to get a free ride.
Absolutely. Now, these facilities that they're going to, they're not entertainment facilities, correct? They're like rescue facilities?
No,
or they
these
are
your,
entertainment facilities.
Well, they're entertainment facilities for certain species of marine mammals. Beluga whales are not one of them, so they are display only at the facilities that they're going.
Okay.
Much of them base the existence of these facilities on being display only and education, etc. Again, there's a higher standard at these places, etc. But much of the rules and laws that govern them here in Canada will not over into the U.S. There'll be an entire new set of rules to govern their existence. So much of the teeth of the laws that we passed here are not going to adhere. So can these animals be bred in those locations? Yes. Are those places incentivized to breed them? No. Baby whales are not coming with a great deal of positive PR. And frankly, Marineland just injected another 30 whales into the zoo. Into the zoo species list. These facilities have plenty of them. They're not incentivized to necessarily want more. Okay. But that said, it's an entirely new governance.
Okay, but you feel comfortable, or at least more comfortable for these animals than you have felt for them. Is that fair?
I would say, absolutely. It's a big day. This is the best possible options out there. Do I wish for there to be better? This is why I do what I do, of course. I'm going to continue to advocate for improved conditions forevermore with these animals. Frankly, as long as they're in a tank, that battle will never end. But that said, this was the very best possible outcome. So yeah, we're definitely celebrating it. And it's all in the interest of the animals. This is best for them. It's not best for us.
Well, glad to hear that. Phil Demers, thank you so much. As always, we appreciate your never-ending crusade, for the lack of a better word, and it's always great to have you give us an update and give us the backstory here. So appreciate your time.
Anytime, appreciate you.
Take care. Thanks, Phil.
Take care.
Lee, gotta say, had some pretty influential people on here, and over the years gained a lot of respect for Phil and also Alicia. Here are two people that saw injustice and saw that laws needed to be improved. So instead of just grabbing a picket and standing outside of someplace, they took it upon themselves to try and change the law, talk to their MPs, and in Phil's case, I mean, here you see how many years later, advocating, getting laws changed, and now beluga whales are out of Marineland, and I believe marine mammal captivity.
Yeah, September, October, he said at the very latest, will be the final death throes of that facility, and
then on Alicia's front as well, campaigning with MP Fred Davies and bringing it up to Parliament and trying to strengthen laws against child predators. I mean, good on them, right? It's
people that I run into in my social circle will often ask me about this story and or make a comment, etc. It's been something that has been top of mind in Niagara for a long, long time. And not just the whales, all of the other animals that there have been stories about that have, in Phil's words, suffered under the auspices of that facility. And just finally to be able to tell these people, when they ask me what's going on, I can finally say, everything that's going on right now is a good thing. And that's a good thing. So thanks, Phil, for being here. Wow, a lot of stuff going on the program today. Now, we're going to lighten the emotion a little bit. It's been a pretty intense program so far, but we're going to lighten the load here in just a bit. I'm assuming that we have Matt Paul standing by or will be standing by?
Yeah, just working on him, Lee. So got to get him. He's just got to step away from work for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So,
I'll give you a bit of a background here.
Got to respect that. Well, hold on, Lee. I mean, you're talking about kindness and
Yes.
lightening the mood. So
Yes.
I'll give you this story that came up on 411 this week, because this one brought a smile to my face.
Okay, what do we got here now?
A girl named Lindsay. And
I'm a little further from the TV than I usually am in this setting, but I'll attempt to wax my way through this. I would like to share a heartfelt thank you to a very kind stranger named Lindsay. Today, while I was waiting with my cane,
Yeah, cane.
Lindsay noticed me and stopped to ask if I would use a walker. She told me she had a brand new walker in her truck and wanted to give it to someone who could benefit from it. She took it out and gave it to me with so much kindness and compassion. I want to share that I never really considered getting a walker. I already felt self-conscious using a cane because at my age I never imagined I would need one. I live with a chronic illness and some days mobility can be a real challenge. I think part of me was hesitant to accept that I needed more support. Lindsay's kindness changed that for me. The walker has already made such a difference. I can move around my home more easily. With less pain and less exhaustion, it has given me a greater sense of independence, comfort, and confidence. Isn't that awesome that somebody would do that? There is actually faith in humanity increased when these stories happen. There is still hope. Lindsay, if you're reading this, I want you to know you didn't just give me a walker. You gave me hope and a reminder that there are still beautiful, caring people in the world. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your kindness will not be forgotten. Isn't that great? Well,
That's
Lindsay,
a good one.
you're a star. That is for sure. No question about that. Things are dropping on my table. Live chess by the falls. Now, this is something I had never heard of before, but apparently it's a thing. And this thing is coming to Niagara Falls on July the 25th to Fireman's Park, just on Mountain Road near Dorchester, there in Niagara Falls. Matt Paul is the fellow that's sort of the harbinger of this thing. Matt, hi, how are you? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, Lee, right on. Good to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you very much. So this is something that I was looking at some of the photos of this, and I won't try to describe it. I'll let you describe it. Chess by the falls, and we know it's Fireman's Park, so it's not right by the falls, but it's in the falls. What is it? What is this event?
Yeah, great question, Lee. A lot of people have brought up the fact that By the Falls this year is not by the falls. It's a ways away. In years past, this is the third annual event that we've had this in Niagara Falls. We've done it at Victoria Park. You may be familiar with the World Cup going on right now down there at that park. They've got the whole thing kind of cordoned off, and so the parks, we negotiated with them, and they came up with a number, and it was a large number to put the event there. So we decided to move it to Fireman's so that it was more community oriented and the costs were kept down this year. Essentially, live chess, though, it's really just a fun community focused event. It's open to the public. We've got some special guests coming this year, some dignitaries. It's family friendly, but what we do is we turn the traditional game of chess into a large community experience. Instead of the regular chess pieces, we've got 32 people representing the king, queen, bishops, knights, rooks, and pawns, all the standard chess pieces, right? And this year we made an improvement. We've got a large magnetic blackboard so people can follow along with the moves on that, as well as looking at the actual board so that people aren't all confused. It's not chaotic. It's kind of nice for people that don't need to be like experienced chess players to participate or even know what's going on. It's kind of like we take a quiet board game and we turn it into a spectacle.
That's great. So how do you become one of these chess pieces? Who are the people that dress up as the bishops and the knights and the pawns, etc.?
So I started the event Mother's Day in Ottawa, and actually went ahead and got a permit. This is 3 years ago. Got a permit to be doing it in front of the Parliament buildings.
Okay.
So we did the whole live chess game in front of the Parliament buildings. People volunteered. They found out about it through Facebook, online, and they sent emails to the website and signed up to be their various pieces. You know, first come, first serve. Everybody wants to be the king or the queen, or
sure.
You know, the pawns are sometimes not but very important, anyways. So everybody basically signs up, and they all meet, and then we play. Usually play 3 or 4 games together, taking turns. Sometimes people will call out the moves. One player on the team. Sometimes somebody from off the board who knows chess will direct the white or the black team. But basically, we kind of alternate so everybody feels, part of it. And, it's basically like bringing children, adults, seniors, beginners, everybody together. And this year it's for something very special. In prior years, we did it for Alzheimer's. We've done it for mental health. We're now doing it for the Toolbox Project. We really feel strongly that Jamie Simons and his efforts and the little elves and everybody's put together this group of people to make things easier for people experiencing homelessness. We think that's wonderful.
It is. We've had Jamie on the program numerous times, and the Toolbox Project is a great cause. You talked about making the calls. That's one of the things that I really wanted to ask you about, Matt. Was okay. So you've got everybody. You got your pawns and your queens, and of course you would want to be the king because you've got the longest life. You get a chance to spend the whole damn game there, right? So,
right.
But the pawns, you can be gone in a second.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
then you might come back, as a queen or something like that.
Okay.
But
so who actually? You kind of touched on it, but I want to clarify it a little bit more. Who calls the moves for each team as this game progresses?
Well, it's been phenomenal. The first year we did it in Niagara Falls, I had this gentleman who was like a McMaster PhD guy with mathematics. He was a chess guy, and he played against me, and I called the moves for our team, and he called the moves for his team, and he was totally great. But he had a little book. He's writing down his moves. I'm like just having fun with it, right? Anyway, so we take turns having different people call out the moves. And in years past, like the last year we did this, I had like a 7-year-old kid was telling all the adults and all the pieces where to go. And he was playing another kid. So we really like to just make it about whoever shows up and whoever's part of the experience. We want to kind of people come forward. In Ottawa, I had this guy from Sri Lanka who was visiting come in, and his kid ended up telling all the one team where to go and play the game. Also, we literally go by the seat of our pants and just have fun with it,
As a fundraiser and or a community event, i.e. for the Toolbox Project, how is that money raised? Is it ticket sales? Is it donations? Or what?
Yeah. So here's what we do. I don't like touching money. Money kind of makes things all complicated sometimes. So what I always do is I say to everybody that's involved, and this was when we were doing it for the Alzheimer's, when we were doing it for mental health, when we're doing it for James, I'm saying they need your help. Now you know what's going on. Now you know what they're doing. You want to give a few bucks? Well, James will have somebody on hand at the event. You want to bring an item to put in the box? We can help facilitate getting that there. But basically, I leave it to people. I like to do things that bring people and like, oh man, I didn't know about that.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take the next step and go and and engage and find
So
out
it's
more.
so it's not like there's an admission or anything of that nature. You can just come down, have some fun, and make a donation.
Exactly, and if people do end up playing the game and taking part in the game, we've got some great people involved this year, some great sponsors. So I've been able to get some great attraction tickets and passes and things like that we plan on giving away to the participants who actually are brave enough to be a pawn or get on the board and play the game.
How'd you get
Safari?
How'd you get interested in this? How did this start for you? Because it's a unique event.
Yeah, so I looked at it, right, and it's never been done. Like it had never been done in front of the Parliament buildings in Canada's history, and it hasn't really been done that much in Canada, I don't think, in this way. But at the time, I was married, and my wife had a art gallery downtown Ottawa, and we had this poetry night, and it was late. It was like 1 a.m, and I was talking with a gentleman about playing chess. And I said, I'm not going to play chess with you unless we convince people to dress up as chess pieces and do it on a large scale in front of the Parliament buildings. And he took the bet. But I had to go out and recruit everybody and actually get the thing done.
Ah, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. So that's how that started.
Right. So it's on the 25th. It's at Fireman's Park. When does it start?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock until when?
We'll probably wrap it up around 6:30. We've got a special guest. I think the mayor's going to come and wrap it up with Jim there, and we've got some pizza from Zappy's Pizza coming in there to make people go home not with an empty stomach.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Jim would miss this event.
I don't think so. It's pretty theatrical. Yeah. It's fun. Some of the people were very, very generous too. The Meridian Credit Union, Bird Kingdom, Queen Tour, Whirlpool Jet Boats, Safari Niagara,
Nice.
National Helicopters.
Nice. Yeah.
Greg Fruin, those nice people. And even Greg's son Ben is one of the pieces. So yeah, it should be fun. We'd like to see everybody down. And,
I think it'll be a great event. Hopefully the weather cooperates with you. Fireman's Park is a great spot. It's I've loved that place for years. But Matt Paul, nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, you too, Lee.
We'll talk again, I'm sure, and good luck with the event. July 25th, Fireman's Park, Chess by Niagara. So cheers.
Yeah,
Chess by the Falls. Yeah. Chess by the
Falls. For having me on. Lee, take it easy.
Yeah, take care, pal. Bye.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good time.
Oh, yeah, that is great. No, it's just about time that we wrap this thing up, but I do, once again, I want to thank Alicia Googoo for being online with us today from the courthouse and the Daniel Senecal saga that continues there, and we'll probably have her on in a couple of weeks again. Dale DeGray, new GM of the IceDogs, thanks for being here. Phil Demers, always a pleasure for you to bring us up to date and keep us posted on how those animals are doing. It's all good news there. And Matt Paul, of course. Also, Grantham Home Hardware, Virgin Insurance, Ready Bins, Niagara, and Kevin Jack, my compatriot here from WeeStream. Always a pleasure. We have Davis Hall and the Green Lanterns to play us off the stage today. Davis Hall and the Green Lanterns of Fonthill / St. Catharines. And ironically enough, considering our first story, to bring this thing full circle, this is a piece called White Toyota. You'll make the connection. Have a great weekend.
We're going to South Dakota. I'm taking a selfie photo with you, 'cause I don't care what people think about me, about you. I'll build you a big pagoda. I'll sit and drink orange soda with you. You've got a thing that I just love about you. And then we'll fly to Rome and go and see Caesar's home, and I'll sense those pheromones that simply drive me out of my mind. And when you look at me, ain't gonna be hard to see that I am hopelessly in love with you, and just you. I buy you a white Toyota, I drive it to Minnesota with you. We'll laugh and sing about silly things, about me, about you. Ain't gonna give one iota, gonna get to my smiling quota with you, and tell the world about what I love about you. And when you walked that aisle and flashed that sparkling smile, I'd fight a crocodile. If it did ever get in your way, I'd cross the stormy sea, so I could make my plea that I'm so helplessly in love with you, and just you.